See, being very active with the alumni for a very long period, from all the IITs, I was the founder board member of Pan IIT. The IITs were made to develop our own country, to develop our own industry. So those IITians who have contributed to the growth of this country where we are today, the credit goes to them. So that is how this idea came to me initially, that I must compile these stories for me. And not even a 1 paisa profit, 1 rupee profit from this book is going into my pocket or into any members of my family. 100% surplus from the sale of this book will go for social cause. Inspire the youth for the theme of Nation First, Rashtra Sarvopari.
So, sir, you have written a book about our great IITians who chose to stay in India and dedicate themselves to the service of the nations. And the book is titled 100 Great IITians and 100 Great IITians dedicated to the service of the nation. So, with respect to these books, there are some questions that we would like to ask to you.
Sure. Most welcome.
So, our first question is that what are the thoughts that came to your mind which propelled you to compile and write this book?
Thank you very much for this question. See, being very active with the alumni for a very long period, from all the IITs, I was the founder board member of Pan IIT. And having been the president of IIT Kharagpur Alumni Foundation, India, before that president of Delhi chapter, I somehow felt that the alumni who come from abroad, they are given a red carpet welcome by all the IITs. While the IITians staying in India, who have done a great job, somehow they do not get that attention from their own IITs. So I always felt that this is not correct. The IITs were made to develop our own country, to develop our own industry. So those IITians who have contributed to the growth of this country where we are today, the credit goes to them. In fact, those who used to leave India, हम तो उनको उस समय भगोड़ा बोलते थे. So I felt, yeah, all those IITians who have stayed back in India, I must bring out their stories, the real great points. So that is how this idea came to me initially, that I must compile these stories one day.
Sir, my second question to you will be that the book expresses hope that the book will inspire youth towards working and making India a Vikisit Bharat by 2047. So my question is, which particular stories or role model that you can take example, even apart from that, what are some stories that you think are monumental in making India Vikisit Bharat by 2047?
See, I tell you, now this book, when it covered the stories of 100 of them, majority of them were from the industrial world, the corporate world. Some of them, they went into PSUs like ISRO, DRDO, Defense Services, though their numbers may be a bit small. And I've covered the stories of some spiritual gurus also by the way, and some social reformers also. Again, their number may be small. Majority will be from the industry. And I guarantee you, when people will read the stories of those great people, it will definitely inspire any youth of this country. There are some professionals also. There are Padma awardees also in this. In fact, I try to cover all the Padma awardees. Some I definitely couldn't contact anyone. So their stories made me say. So anybody who goes through this list of 100 people and their contribution, they'll be amazed. I can guarantee you. So, but yes, while reading some people, those who have got a very wide exposure, they may say, oh, yeah, so-and-so name is also missing. He should have been also there in this book. So for that, through your channel, let me request everybody, whoever is hearing, if you do not find a particular name in this standard, and you believe Kinoya, he or she also needs to be recognized, please send the name. And volume 2 will also come out with another 100 stories of those great IITians who dedicated services to this country.
That's great, sir. Sir, with respect to your answer, I'd like to digress a bit. So you mentioned that these IITians are mostly from the industrial sector. So we also heard that our Prime Minister was saying that next term of the government would be dedicated to the industrial sector and manufacturing. So do you think that if let's say I pass from an IIT and I get the opportunity to work, then why should I stay in India to work when I know that there are some countries like China which might provide better infrastructure for my industries to set up and function?
I think that is a misconception that you will get better opportunities in any other country in the world today. Today, India is offering the greener pastures. That is why even those IITians who went abroad, our own batchmates or maybe a bit later or earlier, they want to come back to India now. Many of them, because they find opportunities are here. And India is the, fifth largest economy today. We are going to become third largest economy very soon. We never had a foundry. Now semiconductors are going to be made in this country. Mobiles are already, we are number 2 in the world. So many sectors we are doing extremely well. So I just don't agree with you that IITians will have better opportunities than any other country. The best opportunities are available in this country today. And then that is your own country, you live with pride. In those countries, you are a second-grade citizen, remember that, however big you may be.
Fully agreed, sir. IITians featured in this book went into diverse fields beyond technology, such as spirituality, social service, and even politics. So how did you ensure that this book gets a balanced representation of the IITians that are present in our country?
Yes, there are diverse fields. You mentioned politics also. Let me tell you, from political area, there is only one IITian who has been covered in this book. And he happens to be Shri Manohar Parikarji, late Manohar Parikarji. Because I believe he was a remarkable man. As Chief Minister of Goa, he did wonders. As Defense Minister of India, he did wonders. No other IITian who went into political field is anywhere near them. I can name a few who went into political field, which I do know. From this IIT Kharagpur itself, Chaudhry Charan Singh ji's son, Ajit Singh, he went into politics. But somehow, I never had very big, high regards for him, to be very frank. Though he became a cabinet minister also. But जो बोलते ना बिन पैंदे का लोटा कभी इस पार्टी में कभी उस पार्टी में ऐसे वो चलते रहे. There are some in Congress also, Jairam Ramesh ji. But I think he has served just one family, that's all. One family, just blindly supporting one family till today. And there's another from over IIT.
Arvind Kejriwal.
जी हाँ, बिल्कुल ठीक बोला आपने, अरविंद केजरीवाल जी. So जब हम ये नाम डिसाइड कर रहे थे, तो I had consulted around 7-8 people from various IITs to come to conclusion about the various needs. So one of the IITian became very adamant that Arvind Kejriwal's name should be added. And I personally happen to know him very, very well. And he also knows me well. It's not that I know him well. So he also knows me well. And I had supported him also in all his adventures till he was fighting that anti-corruption movement. After that, I said, sorry, your path is different and the path is different. Somehow, I just don't agree that he deserves to be in this book. What he has done recently as the Chief Minister of Delhi, his steps are not in favor of the country. Freebies, 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 and freebies. They don't help any economy of any country. That's not like an IITian behaving like that. And that his association with anti-national elements, I am using this word. Anti-national elements. His anti-national policies. Anti-Sanatan policies. So in fact, I told that gentleman, if I write another book tomorrow, 100 selfish IITians, which I will not even get. First story, unki hogi, Arvind Kejriwal. So that is my answer as far as politicians are concerned. Only one comes under this one.
Thank you for your answer, sir. We already know that the government is already placing many policy changes that are crucial to accelerate our country into manufacturing sector and production within our country. But according to you, are there still any gaps in policies that need to be addressed on governmental level?
See, let me be very frank. I'm not a very qualified person to answer this question, whether there are still some gaps. There are highly qualified people who are working on these policies for a long time. In order to improve our education system, NEP 2020 has come, which has brought a great flexibility into the system, even in IITs. So you are going to see those changes very soon. So I believe the present government is doing its best to bridge those gaps which were existing. However, I think industry-academia gap, that still needs to be fulfilled. And there our IITs, our other NITs, other engineering colleges, they also have to take some initiative and go to the industry. Let us join hands together and produce the next generation of great engineers for this country. So both of them have to come together. So that's my.
These are some good suggestions, sir. As per the statistics, which are the top fields or professions chosen by the IITians after leaving the campus?
Top fields, I'll say majority went to industry. I don't have any figures as such. Good number of them went into academics also. And for your kind of information, I have not covered any of the current directors in this book. Retired directors, yes, there are some. And who, in addition to being the directors, did something else also, something great. So their stories you will find some of them. Current directors, somehow I decided because they are still in service and, many plus and minus things can go on. So I just avoided them, that's all. And there were so many. In fact, initially selecting around 40, 50 was a very easy cakewalk for me. After that, I got a flood of so many names. So that all the people who were helping me in identifying these hundreds, it was a bit difficult job how to, eliminate some of the names. So that's.
Sir, I have a follow-up question to this. So you mentioned different fields in which IITians venture into. And now I want to speak about the field of defense. So do you think that an IITian should aspire to join defense field after he has succeeded by qualifying from IIT? Because is it not that his industrial expertise might go to waste that he has gained in IIT?
I believe IITs give you a particular edge in every area. So I'm of the view that an IITian can go in any area and do exceedingly well, whichever area he goes. Now you may be thinking that those people who go into the defense, they just pick up the weapon and start shooting. No, there are a lot of technology involved in defense forces. So like I joined the Indian Navy, I was into the technical branch. Electronics, electrical communication, the radars, the sonars, the missiles, everything was electronics, computer aided action information system, or INS Virat I was looking after. So it was totally technology. So Navy, Army, Air Force, they do need highly technological people. And IITians are most welcome. There's nothing to encourage people to go or not to go. There's so many people from so many colleges who are, very eager to join defense forces because they give a great career. So I leave it to the personal choice of any student, whether he wants to go into the defense services or whether he wants to go to the private sector. It's totally his choice. So in my case, I somehow decided to join the Indian Navy because being a Punjabi in my blood, that, forge was something which we always aspire. And when the opportunity came, there's a big story, of course, about that. I'll not narrate here. I just grabbed the opportunity, you can say, and I loved it. I did around 22 years plus in the Indian Navy. Commissioning crew of INS Virat was one of my very prestigious appointment, you can call it. So I really enjoyed it.
Thank you, sir. I have seen this book and it feels pretty good in terms of quality, in terms of printing, in terms of its hardcover. And due to this, the cost has also risen quite a bit. So why not prefer a cheaper quality or a substandard, or even a paperback version of this book?
First thing, don't call it a cheaper version or a substandard quality. We shall come out with a paperback version also, but that will be also an excellent quality, let me tell you. And as far as the cost is concerned, I went around and asked the various people also and the publisher also. They said for this quality of book, if you see the beautiful paper and the beautiful photographs which have been done, multiple photographs, the cost is not much. It's just rupees 1690 per copy. And there also, if somebody is buying in bulk, there are different slabs of discounts. And let me tell you, the publisher also, he has promised me that he shall not make any profit out of this. He will take only the printing cost and his handling charges and all those things. And why? Because I have committed openly to all the directors, to all the people, all these 100 people also, that not even a 1 paisa profit, 1 rupee profit from this book is going into my pocket or into any members of my family. 100% surplus from the sale of this book will go for social cause. Now you would like to know what is that social cause?
Yes, sir.
You would like to know. 40% of this surplus will go to the economical weaker section of the society, those students getting admission into 23 IITs. 40% of the surplus. Another 40% will go for the development of tribal villages in the vicinity of IIT Kharagpur. Because when I came here in 1974, I had the opportunity of interacting with these tribals also. I used to go to these tribal villages. I saw their condition. It was pathetic. And let me tell you, it has marginally improved today. Marginally, I'm using the word. There are 2 villages. One is a tribal village, one is a non-tribal village. You see the difference. There's a marked difference between that two. So I thought that 40% of surplus should go to these tribal villages. There are 213, one of them, 213 in the vicinity of IIT Kharagpur. And I believe we as IIT, we are responsible for the upliftment of these people also in this surrounding region. I feel we are culprits that we haven't done sufficient for these people. IIT Kharagpur is going to be here for the last 75 years. For namesake, we have done a lot, but that's just on paper. Some research scholar went to a village, did some project and all that. Once his project was over, he forgot. For the overall development of these villages, we haven't done anything. And let me tell you here itself, that IIT Kharagpur Alumni Foundation also has realized this, and they have taken a pledge that during the Platinum Jubilee, when it starts in another 1 year, 75 villages, tribal villages will be adopted. And alumni have already started adopting those villages by donating 1 lakh rupee per village. Though it is not going to be sufficient. And we are not going to distribute this money, but we are going to teach them how to fish instead of just giving them the fish. And the work has just started, you can call it. The money from this book has yet to start coming. The sale has already started. And I assure you 40% will go for them. And remaining 20%, 10% will go to PM Care Fund. Another 10% will be left. And that will be utilized for organization where I am already committed myself. Like Youth for Nation is one of them. Ekal Vidyalaya is one. Seva Bharati is one. And there are a few more with which I am connected. So the balance 10% little bit will go to these small donations from us.
Sir, can you expand a little bit on the Youth for Nation platform?
Yes, Youth for Nation platform is now almost 2.5 years old. I am one of the national coordinators for that. And our 1 point agenda is inspire the youth for the theme of Nation First, Rashtra Sarvopari. This spirit we want to ignite in the minds of all the youth all over India. We have already chapters in all the states. And we have more than 800 people who are on our platform today. 50% of them are ex-defense service officers, Army, Air Force, Navy. Remaining 50% are IFS, IAS, IPS, industrialists, entrepreneurs, academicians, and all those people are there. So I think we have a very good team who can go to these colleges, and we do go around. We have already covered around maybe more than 1 lakh students already. So
That's a great thing, sir. So, sir, coming to the end of the program, I would like to ask you a light question. The question will be, what are the favorite spots that you visited during your stay here at IIT Kharagpur when you were a student? And what were the places that you liked to hang out?
Okay. My schooling was in J&K. And just 1 year before I came to this place, I had come to Delhi for the first time. तो मैं दिल्ली के आगे कभी नहीं आया था. So when I landed here, the first desire was to go to the ocean, to see the ocean. मैंने समुद्र नहीं देखा था. So first Sunday, and maybe second Sunday, I don't remember now, I went to Diga to see that. Just समुद्र देखना चाहता था. And again, within the first 2 weeks, another place I went was Midnapur. And why Midnapur? I wanted to see the statue of Khudiram Bose, जिसके बारे में मैंने बहुत पढ़ा था, and the high regards for that young revolutionary who was probably youngest revolutionary who was hanged to death for the revolutionary act which he did. So I had great respect for the revolutionaries of this place, the spiritual leaders of this place, and the scientists of Bengal. Another place we visited during our second year was, we walked all the way from Kharagpur to Jamshedpur, trekking. 3.5 days, we tracked to Kharagpur. And in my fourth year, pre-final year, we went cycling to Jagannath Puri. और टाउन में गोल बाजार जाते रहते थे हम लोग, काफ़ी जाते थे गोल बाजार. आजकल मैं देखता हूँ लड़के कम जाते हैं, नहीं हम लोग काफ़ी जाते थे गोल बाजार. वहाँ पर मसाला डोसा वगैरह खा के आते थे. And these are the places. And then yes, of course, प्रेम बाजार के आगे एक गोपाली आश्रम है, वनवासी कल्याण आश्रम. I have been connected with that from the day they did भूमि पूजन there, you can say. शंकराचार्य जी आए थे, उन्होंने भूमि पूजन किया था. उस दिन से मैं कनेक्टेड हूँ उस आश्रम के साथ. तो वहाँ में मेरा रेगुलर आना जाना होता था. And through that ashram only I got connected with these tribal people. So that's.
Thank you for such great memories, sir. At last, I would like to thank you and extend heartfelt congratulations towards the completion of this book from Team Samvaad. And I hope that more and more people, especially students, should purchase this book and use it as a guideline or as a guiding principle that they can stay in their country and be a part of its development.
So I will just reiterate that by reading this book, this is going to inspire you. There is no doubt about that. That is one part. And second is, whatever money is generated from this book is going to go for a very, very noble cause, as I told you. For the economically weaker students getting admission into 23 IITs, they will be benefited. And then the tribal area in the vicinity of IIT Kharagpur. And of course, 10% PM Care Fund, another 10% other miscellaneous. So, and I assure you, you will love reading this book and these stories. And definitely, and let me tell you one more thing here before I end. You know, there are so many things. I'm not going to name anybody as such for the time being. You know, आपके घरों में स्लीप बेल्ट के डब्बे होते हैं. IIT कानपुर के जनाब है जो वो कंपनी चलाते हैं. आपके घर में कैंटारो सिस्टम होता है, अगेन IIT कानपुर के. प्रेस्टीज कुकर वगैरह, प्रेस्टीज के बहुत सारे इक्विपमेंट है, IIT मद्रास के. जियो फोन सभी लोग यूज़ करते हैं. तो मुकेश अंबानी जी का एक राइट हैंड मैन कह सकता हूँ मैं, वो IIT खड़गपुर के हैं, जो वर्क क्वाइट एक्टिवली रिवॉर्ड एंड नॉट चूज यू. और अभी कोविड आया था, कोविड के अंदर ऑक्सीजन वॉज ए वेरी बिग थिंग. 60% or maybe more than that, that oxygen gas was being supplied by a chap from IIT. Inox नाम से कंपनी है जो पूरे हिंदुस्तान को ऑक्सीजन गैस सप्लाई करती है. सो देयर आर मेनी सच स्टोरीज यू फाइंड इन दिस बुक. लेमन ट्री होटल में जाते हैं आप, देखे होंगे लेमन ट्री होटल, वन ऑफ द बेस्ट चेन IIT दिल्ली में. फिजिक्स की किताबें पढ़ते होंगे आप, एक प्रोफेसर HC वर्मा जी हैं, उनकी भी स्टोरी है इसमें. ये लकड़ी उनका पेज खुल गया तो मैंने उनका नाम बोल दिया. सो इस तरह से दिग्गज लोग बहुत हैं इसमें. इन्फोसिस का नाम तो सुना ही है आपने. उनके जो 3 फाउंडर्स रहे हैं, 3 of them are there in this book. और हिंदुस्तान का सबसे बड़ा अगर मैं कहूँ मैन्युफैक्चरिंग एम्पायर किसी ने बनाया तो IIT खड़गपुर ही है. श्री RN खन्ना जी, कंट्रोल एंड स्विच गियर 62 बैच, दिल्ली में रहते हैं. उनकी भी स्टोरी है इसमें. And there are many more, I tell you. You will love reading those stories. The father of broadband of India, IIT खड़गपुर में, VK सिंगर जी. अब मैं नाम बताना शुरू कर दिया तो कर दिया. नंदन नीलेकानी जी की भी कहानी है इसमें, नारायण मूर्ति जी की भी कहानी है इसमें, एंड पवन गोयनका जी की कहानी है. उनका चैप्टर निकला खुल गया. So there are so many of them. You will love it. और एक और बहुत महान आदमी है स्पिक मैकी के, उनका नजर पड़ गई पेज के ऊपर. स्पिक मैकी किसने फाइनल किया था? स्पिक मैकी हमारे किरण सिंह जी हैं. वो स्टूडेंट तो यहाँ के थे IIT खड़गपुर के, लेकिन पूरा कैरियर उन्होंने IIT दिल्ली में बिताया. सो फॉर टेक्निकल पर्पसेस ही इज IIT KJPN. तो उनकी स्टोरी भी है. एंड बाय द वे, आई हैव कवर्ड द स्टोरीज ऑफ ओनली दोज IITians हु पास टिल 2000 ईयर. तो पासिंग ऑफ 2000 का वो कट ऑफ डेट थी. उसके बाद के IITians have not been covered. Probably in volume 2 I will extend by another 10 years, maybe 2010 तक के लोगों को कवर करूँगा मैं. इसमें मैंने 2000 तक ही कवर किए. और ऑब्वियसली उस समय तक सिर्फ पुरानी IIT थी 5, then BHU has been covered, Roorkee has been covered, and ISM Dhanbad. And गुवाहाटी ऑफ कोर्स नई बनी थी, तो गुवाहाटी का कोई बच्चा नहीं है ऐसे. बट डेफिनेटली जो 2000 नेक्स्ट वॉल्यूम 2 आएगा उसमें हो सकता है. सो ये है मेरी किताब की कहानी. आई एम श्योर यू विल लव इट. थैंक यू.
Thank you so much, sir.
थैंक यू.